now with the exception of, now if the palm was facing forward, the hand would be this way. But I want your palm to turn toward the side of your body. So your palms are facing the sides of your legs, the sides of your trunk. Very good. And now stretch your fingers downward. And as you pull your fingers downward, can you lift your kneecaps upward? So do both those things. Pull your fingers downward, but squeeze your knees, your quadriceps, and lift your kneecaps upward. Okay, and now don't do that. So, like we were doing before, undo. So, let loose, relax. And you can see that there's a difference between engagement or moving everything together and then letting loose and relaxing. So now let your arms be, and I'm going to give you another position for them. So your palms are going to be open, thumbs are spread, fingers are spread. Put your hands on top of your pelvic bone so that your fingers are pointed forward and your elbows are moving backward. Okay, fingers are stretched forward, toes are stretched forward, but now your elbows are rolling backward. And that's it. Keep your little fingers, side of your hand, lift your little fingers up so they don't lay on your hips, but you pull the little finger up and roll the shoulders. Okay, now you're going to lift your toes up too. So when you lift your toes up, and I'll show you from the side, when you lift your toes up, your weight tends to shift back. So if I drop my toes, you'll see my body weight and my body shift forward. When I lift the toes, I can move the weight of the body backward into the heels. So you're doing all of that now. You're lifting your fingers, you're lifting your toes, lifting your kneecaps, and all of this is to let your body weight shift from front to back. And now undo it. So let it loose. Let it relax and see how the body weight goes forward and how the actual structure of the body drops. So that's okay. That's natural. Now we're going to do this one more time. Hands here. So when I place my hand here, there's a difference between your hand being on your waistline, like where my shorts, the top of my shorts are, and the hand finding the hip. So the hip is where your leg bone meets the pelvis. So bring your hand now down a little bit lower this time. So you're going to stand, toes forward, knees forward, fingers spread, get all that going. Your hand is at this hip line now. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your toes up, and now lift your toes and shift your weight back to pressurize your heels. Aim to lift all the toes, not just the big toes, but the little toes, and then press the balls of your feet down from the big toe all the way to the little toe. So there's now pressure in the heels and pressure in the ball mounds. Take a deeper, fuller breath and see if you can lift your chest from the bottom to the top. Now, here's the fun part, right? As you release your toes down, keep your weight back in your heels. So stretch your toes forward without letting your body just swing forward. Very good. And now extend your arms downward. Pull your fingers downward. Make your arms long. By pulling your arms down, you can release tension in the neck and shoulders. Those arms need to get long. Good. And now swing your arms forward in front of you and look at your thumbs, look at your fingers and see that the palms, the wrists, the elbows are facing each other. And once again, lift your toes up and shift your weight into your heels, lifting your kneecaps and gripping your thigh muscles. On your next inhalation, raise your arms upward toward the ceiling. And now take a deeper, fuller breath. Everybody's toes are still lifting, knees are lifting. Pull your fingers up toward the ceiling. So you're making your arms long now in an upward direction. And then stretch your arms forward and take them downward and release the toes back down onto the floor. Now, lifting the toes is like a prop for the kneecaps. By lifting the toes, we learn to get that grip and lift of the knees. I'm going to show you from the side, and you're going to do this with me. So here again, I lift the toes, I let the weight shift back and stretch the arms out at shoulder height. Then as I pull the arms up, the aim here is to lift so much that the body starts to lengthen and extend upward against the steadiness of the legs. And we want to see if we can keep the arms gripped, the knees gripped, and let the toes find the floor again. Okay, so face forward. We'll do this all together. One more time. Pull your arms downward. Lengthen your fingers in the downward direction. Now lift your toes up, spread your toes well, and shift your weight back into your heels. Use your inhalation to find a lift in your chest, in your waist. Good. Now take your arms forward and stretch your fingers forward. Extend your thumbs forward. Raise your arms upward and make your arms long. Stretch the arms up, reach the fingers toward the ceiling. Take your arms forward, and now with your arms in the forward direction, let your toes rest down, stay there a little longer, and now raise your arms up again so that your legs are steady and your arms are moving. So bring your arms forward and then raise them up again. So the legs aren't swinging forward and backward, the arms are moving. One more time. Stretch your fingers forward and then raise your arms up. And notice that you can keep one part of your body pretty still, pretty strong as one part moves. And now swing your arms forward and all the way back down. Roll the shoulders back and make your fingers long, your wrists long. Widen your clavicles, that's your collarbones. Very good. So let yourself let loose, relax for a moment. When you separate and let loose, take your right foot to the right, take your left foot to the left, and now notice what it feels like to redistribute your body weight in a wider way. Okay, do you notice any difference? A little bit more space coming to the pelvis or to the abdominal area. Like you just let yourself take up more space. So there's a difference in the yoga asanas between standing with the feet apart and what that does for the body and standing with the legs together. Okay, so we had a moment here and we're going to bring the legs back together again for one more arm position here. Again, toes forward, knees forward. You're going to hear me say the same thing many times. Your hips are forward, your chest is forward. Interlace your fingers now. When you interlace your fingers, there's always going to be a comfortable way that your body just clasps. Notice here which little finger is on the bottom. Okay? For me, the bottom finger is the right one, or if I'm mirroring you, this is the bottom finger. Okay, so just notice, we're all gonna now clasp the hands with the right little finger down. Join your legs. Stretch your palms forward at the height of your shoulders. Once again, the palms are forward. And now lift your toes and let your body weight shift backward so that the heels and the balls of the feet are pressing. And stretch the palms forward. Extend the arms fully. And now on your inhalation, raise your arms upward. Grip at the knees, so you're pulling your knees up and squeeze around your elbows, so you're stretching your arms fully. Turn the palms upward toward the ceiling. Yes. And now stretch your palms forward and release your arms downward. Okay, change that interlace. So now you're going to have the left little finger down. For some of you, that might be the more awkward position. So when you interlace, like you do when you hold someone's hand, but when you change the grip, it feels strangely like you're holding someone else's hand, right? Okay, now you're going to turn the palms forward. And that forward position is so that you can learn to spread the palms, open up the wrist. So, see, this would be a closed wrist or closed palm, but I want to learn to spread the palm, open up the wrist, and squeeze. So, this is the tricep muscle. Squeeze that muscle so your elbow is extended. On your next inhalation, raise your arms upward. The whole intention of these poses is to become taller, longer. So, taller isn't just a measurement of inches or centimeters. Taller can be a feeling of space inside. So, pull your arms up, your wrists up, and lift yourself up in such a way that you feel you've grown inside. Okay, release your hands forward. And now take your arms down and stand in Tadasana again. Pull the fingers downward, roll the shoulders backward. Okay, we're going to do that same position one more time. So you're going to take the right little finger down, interlace, extend the palms forward. And now before we raise the arms up, I want you to lift your toes, shift your weight back into your heels, grip your knees, grip your thigh muscles, and inhale, raise your arms against the steadiness of your legs. So your legs don't move. Your legs stay firm. Squeeze your legs toward each other and open yourself up. So your armpits stretch, your elbows stretch, your wrists stretch. You can even stretch the corners of your mouth a little bit toward the ears. That's it. And release your arms forward and come back down. Okay, you do know what I mean by that, right? When you stretch the corners of your mouth toward your ears, it looks like that. Just kidding. It's fine if you know that you're really serious.